Welcome in to episode 24 of our Let's Play Ara History Untold series. We are in turn number 208, and a war is about to occur. A war we've been waiting for since, I don't know what, turn 10, 15, the first episode, second episode maybe of the series. It has been a long time coming. Our longtime ally, who has forward settled us egregiously and claimed territories into our land on multiple occasions, I think we're finally going to pull the trigger on wiping some of his cities away from our land and claiming that territory as our own. If you need to catch up on everything that led up to this moment of declaring war on our longtime ally, down in the description below, there is a link to episode 1 of the series. You can catch up on all of the action leading up to this moment. Here, somehow still in Act 1, the AI is set for too low a difficulty, clearly, and we are waiting for them to catch up in Ara History Untold. Here we are, of course, right back in our capital of Ciudad de Mexico, and we are humming. Our empire is a well-oiled machine. We are currently gaining +8 Golden Age points per turn. We are rapidly approaching yet another Golden Age. We have a lot of possible triumphs to build during that Golden Age. However, our primary objective this time around for this episode and before we get to our Golden Age is, in fact, our war. And you'll notice the borders here. Here's our empire, and eventually we just started egregiously forward settling Italy because they started egregiously forward settling us. But this was their second city. They put it right here. It was very aggressive towards our capital city over here. Look, we're here, they're here. That was the starting positions. And their second city was almost closer to our capital than it was to their capital. And they had all of this land. All of this land was empty up here, and they settled none of it. Instead, they passed up resources after resources after resources and settled down here. They also settled up here, which, to be fair, they were getting crowded by Germany at that point. Then they settled the second city right over here. Again, maybe a little less egregious, but at that point, we had already settled a couple cities down here, and then they claimed territories. Look at this, look at their claims. All the way down into our land here. All the way down into our land here to cut off our cities. It's been absolutely egregious. That's the only word that I can think of about it. They also then came and did this. They settled this city about a moment before we settled this city, and now we've been in a territory war over here as well. It has been an endless game of Italy trying to take our land from us, and we're done. We're done with it. We are waiting. We have 3 turns before our armies kind of reinforce into our other armies just to guarantee success and victory. I had one concern. My one concern is we do have walls in all of our northern cities that border their capital, but they have several square formations up here. Like, there's not a small amount of armies. Like, they have substantial armies up in their capital. And if they choose to not come and reinforce their cities that I'm attacking, and instead decide to launch their own counterattack, I'm a little concerned about our ability to react to that in a timely fashion. I do not want to lose cities in this war. The whole objective is burn down Zico, Gurudon, and New Delhi. Milano could stay on this war. I'm not opposed to just, like, leaving Milano. We kind of claimed a border here. I don't... Arguably, from a city claim standpoint, like, we would love to have access to that land. But I'm honestly not opposed to leaving Milano there. We can deal with that when we get there. If we need a second war to take this land, we can. But in this particular instance, I'm fine with just taking that up to this line, right? Like, rid ourselves of the cities in our land, leave them with their capital. We don't need another city anyway. We're already 2 over our cap. I don't really feel the need to have another city at this point in the game. Maybe we want Milano later. Maybe we just want to burn it out. I don't know. But right now, we're just going to take the cities that we want. When I take them, I mean we're going to burn them down. And then we're going to rock and roll. But the problem is, there are multiple armies that are up here. And so I think what I'm going to do is form up a quick diamond formation, deploy it out of Neza, and then walk them up as kind of a defensive formation, and they can kind of maybe just sit in between these two cities, and then if either of them get attacked, we can respond in kind by being able to move that army around. So in order to do that, I'm going to go to my highest production cities. We are going to go to our units, and we are going to queue up and actually buy out some of our better units. So we're going to need, in order to complete this diamond formation, probably some knights, because I don't think we have the ability to do elephants anymore. So we're going to do 1 knight for our cavalry at the back end of the formation. We'll go ahead and queue up the knight here. We'll bump the knight all the way to the top, and it will actually just finish in 1 turn. We've got apparently the whatever's there. We don't even have to rush it. Don't even have to rush the knight. So we get the knight to the top. The knight will get built on the next turn. We'll go over here to Neza. Footman, I believe, is our best unit, so we'll go with a footman, and that will be here. And we will rush that. What did that cost? 100. Easy money. So 100 for a footman. We'll get the footman out real quick. We'll go here to Tijuana, I believe, is another one of our higher production cities. Let's go ahead and grab. So we'll go with bowmen. I don't love their attack, but I think that's our best option right now. I mean, unless we wanted to switch up what we're thinking about doing, but I think it'll be fine. That's gonna be obsolete pretty quickly, unfortunately. But we'll go bowman. We actually need 2 bowmen, but we'll do 1 here and 1 in New Kohula probably. So we'll rush that at a cost of 75 only, and then we'll come up here to New Kohula and we'll do the same thing here. Rush for 75, and that will be our diamond formation. So we have 1 diamond formation that we'll have on the next turn. We will deploy them out of Neza, our high security cities, so that they have that % strength bonus modifier. And then as these units walk down here, we'll walk this unit up from Neza. It will take a little bit of time. Once that unit has reached some semblance of an area where they could reach and defend, then we'll declare the war. So it'll be at least 3 or 4 turns here as our units kind of get into position, but that's what we're working towards here as we get moving. So let's press that next turn button. We're saving. You notice we have a growth, a claim here in New Kohila. We're saving that for when we burn down Zico, so we can start claiming out towards the coast here. That's the whole goal. And we'll actually probably be saving a lot of our claims in these cities that kind of surround the different areas that we want, just so we can gobble up that territory and prevent other people from coming and settling it. Because when we burn those down, there's going to be large open swaths of land, and the AI in Ara is very interested in taking land when it can. So let's press next turn, and we will have our army ready to go. Let's do first things first. Let's just deploy that force. We're going to deploy it at Neza. We're going to stick it in a legion, and we are going to put it into a diamond formation. We'll put the bowman. Knight out. Bowman in. Put the knight in at the back and the footman at the front. That gets us our bonuses that we're looking for the diamond formation. You look at diamond behind my head, but plus 10 strength if you put in a melee infantry in the front, 2 projectiles in the middle, and a cav at the back, and plus 10% strength for each of those units, which again, not every one of the formations gives that bonus, so you gotta be careful with it. The diamond formation is a really powerful early formation that gets you that 10% strength just across the board, which is, I think, nice, especially if you're planning on, defending or attacking. It gets you the bonus, right? Some of the formations are more defensive only. Some of them only benefit your ranged units or different things like that. So it's always, take a look at your formations, make sure you're grabbing the right one for the scenario you're in. When in doubt, diamond formation, if you're at this point in the game, is definitely a strong one to consider. Right. So deploy at Neza. They will be deployed. I wonder, is the deployment turns? I don't know how long the deployment takes, because they did up the deployment cost in a recent patch, and I don't know if that took place in this save file, because again, this is a very old save file, pre-Invisible Hand, very, very old save, and so we're not playing with a lot of the different new updates on. One of those being that they increased the deployment capability, which was a good change. Deployment was pretty fast, and one of the reasons they did it was to keep people from just recalling units from across the map and then insta-deploying them into a city when they needed them, and that does feel a little more realistic. It's a little frustrating when it takes them as long as it does to get your armies out, but it makes it so you have to kind of pre-plan defenses, make sure you have standing armies, and if you don't, you're going to find yourself in trouble. And honestly, there's a realism to that, and I do like an aspect of realism to my 4X strategy games, so that I felt like is actually totally fine. All right, so we deployed our armies. Everyone is moving about. We're crafting a lot. Italy, fish. Got fish. Get some salted fish. We're not going to probably be in a relationship with you very much longer. I wonder if we can declare war on someone who likes us that much. The penalty is going to be huge. The prestige cost of declaring this war might be astronomical. We have a new workshop down. Okay, so let's run up here. Grab this workshop. We're building so many different things now. It's getting very difficult to track our workshops here in this game. But I know we're doing double metal tools, right? We've got pots coming out on a consistent basis, candles, baskets. We have 2 people crafting 3. We have 3 people crafting heavy plows right now, and only 1 on barrels. So I think barrels is probably our answer here. So if we take a look, heavy plows we're actively crafting. We got access to excess in a lot of different other spaces. The other thing we could work on is more gears. We have 1 person crafting gears, but the gears are not coming out very quickly. So gears and barrels would be the 2 most advantageous things probably to craft. We have someone working on furniture, and I'm wondering if, because we don't have gears in some of our workshops, if we want to go gears first. Let's jump into gears first. We can actually put the metal ingot on this. We'll go wealth because we have tons of it, and might as well just go wealth, right? I mean, we'll just go wealth. And we'll go like 5 gears from here to augment the gears that are already being crafted. And then this one will probably end up on barrels at some point. We'll just be crafting a ton of barrels because barrels are replacement for quite a few of the different things that we've got going on right now. So again, that's like the upgrade, Act 2 upgrade that we're working on, which, again, we're not in Act 2 technically speaking, but technology-wise, before we end up in Act 2 in the game, we might be done with most of the techs in Act 2 and be moving into Act 3. We're going to be like, so far, we basically have min-maxed the game on a low difficulty level, and that has created some interesting gameplay conundrums for us. But I'm trying to play as if we didn't have the ridiculous fame lead we had, and that we'd be trying to actually continue to min-max things a little bit. So again, do we need these armies? No, but I think if you were playing on a higher difficulty level, you would definitely need to reinforce these cities in order to avoid something potentially very bad happening to these cities when you declare war. So that's kind of the objective of why I'm kind of playing it the way I'm playing it. You'll notice I probably play it pretty safe. That's a normal tendency for me, but I'm also trying to play it that way as if we were on a higher difficulty, things obviously would be playing out quite a bit differently. And so what would we need in order to make sure that we were still successful in our endeavors with that in mind? So that's kind of what has been in part of my thought process as well. The scout is still just kind of peeking around, right? Actually, I wouldn't mind seeing some more of this territory. That war is over, so we can jump over here and kind of just explore a little bit more. Again, our objective is we're still sticking around so that when Brussels, who is one of the bottom 2 nations, gets called, we can go and grab anything we can as far as the lovely caches that they're going to leave behind for us. This guy's just been sitting here, and that's fine. There was a Free Peoples down here that was ready to destroy us, and so we decided to just kind of come sit up here. So we'll just continue doing that. All right, population milestone in Monterey. So Monterey gets to grab yet another spot, and this... Okay, so let's give a quick look. You get access to more dyes, which would be good. We don't have any pressure currently to kind of push the border here, although pushing the border out in this direction, there is a city that's claiming out this way. I don't need to push too far in this direction, but I do think that getting claims out this way is not a bad idea. So I'm going to pass up the dyes, despite the fact that we are not producing enough dyes currently. I'm going to pass up the dyes. I might claim this over here, so that we can set more of a border in this direction, grab a couple territories on this side of things. So I think that's going to be the play, is just to help set the border over here. This is a really not great territory. We might even just throw a wonder on that at some point, which is not a bad idea to have something for a wonder. So let's just grab it. If we need to, we can put farms on it. I actually love that play necessarily, but that is what it is. And then we have enough extra expert. We would love to get up here at some point. For now, we could just grab more food, probably. Stick it in the farm, get more food. Why not? Population milestone in Puebla as well. And Puebla is looking at maybe some camels or maybe these elephants down here. That would actually free us up to make some more of our elephant elephant units, but I don't feel like we need those anymore now that we trained our army. So I feel like, again, pushing out in this direction to try to make it so that it's not easy to settle anything over here, I think is a better idea. So maybe we grab like these, we do grab these camels potentially. That's not a bad idea, I think, if we take the camels are, it's a nice, what is this? It's in this one down here. It's a nice claim, like deeper in, that gets us access to more land potentially, and hopefully maybe cuts off a settle if somebody wants it. Let's go ahead in that direction. And we have also put in something here, and honestly, like, I feel like we should just go into something like really good, like a festival, or if we want to be even better, we go into like a gourmet meal or the preserved food, which is just, yeah, I think we just go preserved food. Everywhere should have preserved food, just so that we're enhancing our growth in the best way possible. Okay, we have experts. We need to work on getting our dock in. That was something we had talked about quite some time ago, is getting that dock in. So probably something we should do. We don't mind more dyes, so we can throw an expert into these dyes, but we need to build the dock here. We're building a mine right now on the manganese. That's okay. We need to go dock stables over here. So that's going to be kind of the goal there. Our reserves have been added. We already got rid of all of those, so that is fine. We'll just click through all of those because we did them. And we are ready. Press that next turn button. We'll see it very quickly now how fast those reserves get deployed. We opened up St. Basil's, which was kind of an objective of ours. So we had access to that during our next Golden. And it looks like the War and the Golden Age are going to coincide pretty closely. Okay, so we still have the old mustering timeline. So it's only 2 turns to muster. Last turn, and then it'll be this turn, and that unit will be ready. So that's advantageous for us. So we still have fast mustering, basically. They have slowed that process down in future patches, so just something to think about. We could get access to Angkor Wat, go architecture, and I think, based on how many turns we have left to getting our golden, I think it would be optimal to go into something like architecture, because again, it's not worth any prestige. So if we were trying to min-max our prestige gains, which is the way you win Ara, we would want to take a tech now that doesn't give us prestige, right? So this one is easy. Glass windows are so-so. We talked about that, I think, in a past episode, but we'll take that just because it doesn't have prestige attached to it. That way we get that 25% bonus when we research the rest of those techs, hopefully as much as we can during our Golden Age. Okay. Diplomatic agreement ending with Belgium in a turn. Okay, we got another new workshop. We got an altar and a bakery. So let's go jump up here and deal with this bakery. I like that we're getting bakeries online. This is definitely a very positive thing. We need more bakeries. Bakeries can produce preserved food. We're actually producing enough preserved food right now that I'm not sure we necessarily need it. The idea of these pastries is actually really interesting to me as an extra amenity. We're currently, we're burning through bread pretty fast. So we actually need more bread. But the pastries as an amenity is not a bad thing. -5 city health is, I mean, again, I love that they put that on pastries, right? But you get extra prosperity, extra food, extra happiness. They could make for a really interesting, like, if you needed an extra amenity, if you get too many, like, slots and you run out of good things to put in. That's not a bad one to slot, right? But it kind of depends on how much. It lasts for 10 turns. That's a big thing to look at, right? Because bread lasts for 5 only as an amenity, and so you don't get that. You have to craft more of them to use it as an amenity, which we're not using bread as an amenity. We're using it as a crafting agent more often than not. But pastries actually are not a bad amenity in my opinion. We need bread though, so do we have the grain? We 100% have the grain now, and we'll throw the wealth behind it as well, and we'll just infinite craft that bread so that we make sure we have enough of it. If we scroll down, we'll find our workshop that is idle. And now that we have someone working on our gears, what we can do is put... How many pop-ups are going to show up? Okay. What we're going to do is go ahead and throw on barrels now. We'll get this guy crafting barrels. We're just going to use the wealth because we can. We'll just double wealth barrels. And I won't infinite craft barrels because I'm not sure how much we're going to use them, but I will set it to like 30 or something. So that's going to be 60 turns worth of barrel crafting for that workshop. So we'll get enough barrels out eventually. And if we start with like a huge stockpile of them, if we find out that we don't get to use them as an accelerant or something like that, then we can always switch the crafting around. But Barrels are something we need quite a bit of to put in as supplies in different places, so we'll continue to do that as we go. All right, a couple idle units. We're still just poking around over here. We'll just keep doing that. And hey, our scout came down here to try to grab that, but this scout had already done. This Italian scout is about, when we declare war, we're going to fight this scout. That's going to be our new objective. But for now, should we just let the scout hunt the tiger? The scout's going to die if it hunts the tiger. I'm going to sit here and see if the scout will hunt the tiger. Let's wait and see if the scout will just kill itself on the tiger. And then, because the tiger's got 3 hunts left, so if the scout will do some of those hunts for me before it dies, I'm down for that. All right, these guys have reached their spot, so we're ready. They are ready, so we're gonna fortify them up with the rest of the army there. It's a large army. This scout is again just sitting still, and we are looking for a build in Lyon. Lyon, what have you been? What are you? You have just so much food. You have so much food. Okay, Lyon is the one that's going to build mines of Ramselberg. And we could start building wonders. When do we grow? 3 turns? I want to wait the 3 turns and try to grab maybe a territory that's better. Right now, we'd be putting something in a 4. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's also not like the most awesome thing in the world. So probably what we need to do is set up so that mines is a really, really good build for us. And we could also just try to boost our city stats here too. Something like a pub. And then we could pub into some other places like, oh, actually, I guess we could be putting inns in. Sorry, inns or pubs? Pubs are the replacement for inns. So we'd be putting pubs down. I think we should just pub. I think we should pub this. Right outside the city walls, we put a pub. Absolutely. Okay, so we'll pub in, and then that one will become our kind of commercial or culture, because pubs benefit from commercial and culture buildings around them. So we'll kind of just walk towards that in that particular territory. Nuko Hula is ready to grow, but we're again ready to grow, but we're going to save that. But they're ready to build as well. And I thought, no, they weren't building. Let's see. Let's just take a quick check. We need to do some science and culture type buildings. We have, big things we can bonus from that. Where is our... Do we have a pub here? Isn't we just put in a pub or something somewhere? They have an inn. We could start into a wonder build. Let's run some numbers really quick. If we're at +8, but that's going to go down as the problem as soon as we declare war. I don't want to start on a wonder build quite yet, because I mean we're 10 turns. I mean, we're well within the 10 turn kind of limit, right? And we've got the perfect place to put a wonder. And we can always just stop that at 1 turn. So maybe we do. Maybe we, since this city... Oh, you know what? Actually, scratch that. We're sitting at... We need food and dwelling. All of that was great to think about. But we're going to go ahead and just throw down farms with our grocery. Irrigated farm. And then I'm actually literally just going to roll... Well, let's go irrigated farm. And we don't have to have the dwelling. So let's go farm to deal with their food thing, and then we'll kind of go. Okay. Next turn, our armies are now situated, and we're kind of just gonna wait for this diamond formation to make it up to, I don't know, we'll send them up to like this spot here, and probably station them somewhere in between Ciudad Juarez and Leon de los Aldama, because there's armies all through here, right? So we're going to want to be able to read and react to what their armies are doing. Relationships with Belgium has changed from allied to trusted. Our agreement is ended. We have a new bakery in, and a bakery we know is just going to go into bread. We'll go grain, wealth, and we'll just infinite craft that. The next bakery, maybe we don't need the bread. We'll have to look at our numbers. Okay, bakery's done. Brewery is ready. Let's check our breweries, actually. Oh, we have a cobbler. Our very first cobbler, in fact. Cobblers do not have any policies, interestingly enough. Okay, so we're crafting sandals at a pretty decent clip. We're not crafting any belts, and we are not crafting any shoes. And shoes are pretty nice. I feel like maybe we should just get to crafting some shoes. Do we have the right... Yeah, we have more fur, so we can use... the fur, boost this, and we could probably use mats now. Look, our mats have shot up ever since we decided to put in all those mines in our capital. So we can actually use mats now as well for these shoes. I'm just going to set those to infinite craft out of this cobbler, I think, because we're definitely going to want to put those in our cities, right? We got our brewery. We have a brewery that's working malt. We have a brewery that's making some liquor. And then I think what we also want, we have 10 wine that will get slotted when we need the wine. So I think we could get started on our beer now. So let's go ahead and get started on that. We're going to use the grain. We're going to use the malt. Oh, we can't quite use the malt. We're not producing enough. Maybe once we get this other expert in, I'm going to let the malt build up just a little bit before we start using it. And then we want to, I believe, use these ceramic pots if we can. Because we are getting enough of them and we're currently crafting them. So we could use the pots here, or we could just, again, use wealth. Eventually, we want to not be using wealth probably for everything. And I'm actually going to infinite craft beer out of this particular brewery. I'd love to get another expert into the one making the malt so that we can get more malt out to be able to boost some other things. And the cobbler, which we already set, so that's good. We have our idle unit. We'll just keep poking around a little bit. So now I think we're just in a standoff, because if I hunt this and then they hunt this and it goes down to 1, then it's going to be a crapshoot as to who gets it. So I think we just wait until we declare war, and then we'll attack the scout, and then we'll make sure we get the tiger. Now, if they start hunting the tiger, that'll be different. So I'm actually just going to fortify this unit. Population milestone in Neza, and Neza is going to hold. We're going to hold in Neza. Because we could claim some of these, but I still haven't decided whether Neza's claiming those or whether the capital is. Probably Neza, but I haven't quite decided. Now, Neza's definitely claiming this at least, and probably this, to be honest. So we could actually claim this, but I think I want to claim up some of this land, like gobble up this like a little faster. So I think we'll probably claim this for Neza to connect the territory in a little bit. So I'm going to hold on the growth there. But we will, in fact, give them something new here. We want to keep all of their amenities filled. And dried food goods would be an option, and they are pushing food. The other option would be sandals. It's just 10% city production. We don't have sandals in many places. I think we've neglected to put them in. I'm going to go sandals now because they don't need the food. So we'll go sandals to boost some of our stuff. And then from an expert standpoint, we're just going to jump over here. Leave most of our experts going into chemists here. And honestly, I think it's just going to be more of the same. We have full city health here already, so that's probably like not as important, but that feels like a decent spot to put one. And we're a pub in 1, which is technically where we'd want to put the other one. We'll throw irrigated farm for now, and then pub will have to come at a later date. Neza has generated a claim. We're just going to close that out because we're going to wait until we burn the city down to make that claim. And Ciudad Juarez is ready to build something new. And if we take a look over here, they just finished their brewery district. So they were putting in breweries at a rapid pace. They are good on food. They are good on dwellings currently. And so what we would probably be looking for is either a spot to put science or a spot to put culture buildings. And honestly, I feel like we haven't done a science district yet. So maybe we open with a school, perhaps, somewhere. Let's go school here. School into university on that one. That's probably what we'll do. And I think we're ready to next turn. Where our army is moving out, so we're going to be close. We're close to this war now. There goes the army. They're going to take a couple turns, 3 turns to get up there. I think that will be our indicator. At that 3rd turn, when they're up in this defensive position, I think that will be the time. Research agreement with Poland is ending soon. Relationship with Belgium going to close. Friendly to neutral with Germany, and friendly to neutral with the Mongolian Empire. All of that is going to go down again, probably, when we declare this war. So I may want to actually swing through and perhaps offer some advanced gifts. We have so many horses. We could throw let's go 10 horses to Itzcoatl. Okay, we offered a bunch of gifts to everybody just to try to buff up our relationship a little bit before we get to this war. I don't know, declaring war on a trusted person, I'm not sure how that's going to go for us. So Here is a bakery, and what are we sitting at for bread now? 8.4 bread production, so I feel like we could actually maybe start producing some pastries. Not opposed to that. Let's make some pastries. Oh, use the bread to turn into pastries. But we don't have to craft pastries at any, like, we don't need to, like, do this at a ridiculous rate, yeah? Like, how many pastries could we possibly need? We got food oil to put on this? One per 2 turns. Which is fine, like, fine. We're not like I'm, like, crazy doing this. I'm just gonna start infinite crafting pastries out of this one. If we ever need more bread, we can obviously do that too, right? The gathering hall is idle. And so many different things we could be crafting. Little flaws, festivals, feasts. I mean, any of those things work for us at this point. What are we low on? We're lower on feasts, so we just go feasts. Here's that pub that just got created. And we already see the liquor is getting used, right? We're slotting the liquor. We'll start slotting the beer as well in that 3rd slot. And our wine that we have sitting around is now getting used as well. We will continue to craft gourmet meals from here. We can now use the bread to do so. We can also use salted fish. And we could probably use, like, spice, because we have so much spice now. We're crafting gourmet meals at the most ridiculous rate. We could probably start using gourmet meals as gifts on a regular basis now. We should probably start just giving away gourmet meals just to up our relationships across the board, which is what I did, actually, for a couple of them that I just sent gifts on. So, let's see. What else do we want to know about down here? I guess I want to find out what's down here, so move in that direction. This guy's still just hanging out. There's not really anything else for him to do. Again, we were getting damaged going down here and exploring. We're under threat of attack, so I decided to stop. Just not mess around with that. Keep our guy alive. Guadalajara has expanded. We're dealing with the aggression from over here. So we are going to quickly claim up this territory here, allowing us to hopefully maybe claim up to here, like here and here, like our next grabs to try to... We wanted this too, but it's getting sticky. 13 turns left on their walls. I don't know why we're actually building walls there. It's fine. They probably needed it. Okay, Leon has built... What? What were they just building? They were building something. I don't remember what they were building, but they were building a thing. And that's probably good. Okay. Oh yeah, we put the pub in. We got the pub down, so now we want to go into another building of that nature, right? So the pub benefits from +5 wealth per turn for each commerce and culture improvement. And honestly, I feel like we could put some culture improvements in. It might be a good idea. So let's swing up. So we could do a library. Because libraries, for whatever reason, are, in fact, they're culture buildings in this particular save file. They are, I believe, science buildings now, which in my opinion makes sense. I could go with both. But plus research per turn is nice, and 15 city knowledge is actually really big in this city. So let's go library. And we can kind of pick and choose what we want to do here as well. Oh, and they grew as well. We want to take this growth, or are we saving? Are we saving this? I think we're saving. Well, we could just dip down over here. Yeah, that's actually probably fine, right? We know this city is going to take this spot. And so we could just take that now. And then they can kind of close their borders around. So let's just do that. That way we keep growth moving here. So we'll take this. We also need a spot for mines, right? That was the other thing we were potentially looking for, is do we have a good spot for mines in this city? And we didn't actually currently. But it looks like we're going to be doing a 4 regardless, unless one of these is... These look like decent. Those look like they're decent as well. We have a lot of really high zone territories in this game, to be honest. So let's take this. We could always put a wonder on it. We'll just grab it. And for an experts... Oh, we have a mine. We have an empty mine. There, that's perfect. We'll go into the mine. That makes sense. And then we have another though. But we could just double into the mine, right? Get that +2 city build production. So let's do that. Architectural assistance. So we've reached the point where I don't think we're actually going to be able to get any of these tribes to join us before the end of Era. And at the end of Era, they all, their tribe itself disappears. The units stay on the map. You have to fight still. But at the end of Era, the tribes do disappear. So, I mean, honestly, 15 timber and 20 materials mean absolutely nothing to me in terms of economy. which, again, maybe could use some balancing in the game. But +1 relationship, again, probably kind of meaningless. And honestly, the 5 prestige is meaningless too. But, again, if we were kind of min-maxing on a higher difficulty level, we would definitely want this prestige. So let's go ahead and support it anyway, despite the fact that we're probably not going to get them to join us. And the reality is almost assuredly we won't be. But we want to still grab that prestige when we can. All right, Neza is looking for another project. And they have all their chemists in now. Let's take a quick look. Food, and they're coming up on needing a dwelling, possibly. We're filling in a lot of stuff here. We got a lot of territories filled in Neza. The other thing Neza could do is start to look to build another wonder. And so that's something to think about. And we do have open spots for it. Now, this one, we probably want to get these improvements in. And so maybe we go in that direction, grab these improvements here. Because the furs are useful. Yeah, that's probably a good plan. So let's go ahead and I'm just gonna set both of these to run. We'll get both of those in. And then kind of work our way from there. Again, oh my gosh, we're just a couple turns away from our golden. So during our war, we're gonna be in a golden. So we're gonna have a lot of stuff to do. There's going to be a great many things to do here on the next, when are we getting to this war? Very shortly. There's unlocking of Angkor Wat, as well as the crafting guild, so we can now upgrade our workshops, which is a big deal. We can residences. We can also do residences now instead of dwellings and upgrade our dwellings. So that's nice. I believe we are we're 2 turns away. Even when we declare this war, I'm pretty sure we are 2 turns away from our golden age. And so let's just grab something like metallurgy. It's got 12 on it. We're going to get this done. Oh, man, it's going to be close because it's a 2-turn. Maybe we do a 3-turn instead. Let's go mechanized clocks just to ensure that, just in case it takes 3 turns, we're still going to get that prestige bonus. Claims are in. Friendly to trusted with the Aztecs. They accepted our gift. Neutral and friendly with Germany. They accepted our gift. And the Mongolian Empire also accepted our gift. I did not send gifts to the 2 that are going to get called. I did not send gifts to Italy because that seems... okay, not the greatest idea. New mine, new farm, and new cobbler. And for the cobbler, we need double craft shoes. Because we got the fur. We got the mats. Heck it, let's craft the shoes. More shoes! Good job, cobbler. Okay. We did some research. We got some units that are out and about. We'll just kind of move around. This guy's just hanging. Craft queue is empty in what? What do we got? Craft queue and gather. Okay, so let's just do those, and then we'll run that from up here. Scroll our way down. 2 gathering halls that are not crafting anything. How is our festivals? We're still fine on festivals. Let's put one of them on Code of Laws. Let's put you on feasts. At some point, those will not be able to be crafted anymore, unless the game has updated in a way that I didn't understand. Mongols accepted our gift. The Assyrian Empire... oh, the Assyrian Empire declined my gift. I did send them a very nice-looking gift. Poland declined my gift as well. Okay. Ecatepec. Ecatepec? I've gone with that, but I'm pretty sure I might be wrong. Ecatepec? I have no idea. Correct me on my pronunciation of this city, if you would like. All right, I think we're going docks, right? Workshop docks. So maybe we go work. So we're gonna go what? Workshop docks, stable. I mean, that's just kind of my MO on these lands, right? So workshop maybe goes here. Workshop docks, stables. We could save that for something else. So let's go workshop here. We're gonna go into dock. And honestly, like, we could probably just like let's just do this. Workshop into docks. Set it to go. We don't have to think about it for a little while. Into stable. I'm just going to go right to it. Now, if they grow at some point and need more food or something like that, we can always change that. But let's just set that whole thing up right there. We also have access to the saffron, but again, we have so much spices that I think we're probably fine. Puebla is ready to build something as well, and they are indeed also going to go into docks. And I think I was going to do the docks right here because I wanted to see what they look like right next to each other. So let's select that, and we'll put the docks in here as well. Good docks. They are good on food, and they're pretty good on dwellings, so I'm actually going to go... we're going to go ahead and set their stables as well right away. Just give them stuff to do. We already know that's what's going to happen, right? So we'll get that territory also filled in, very similarly to what we were just doing. We are ready to next turn, and this might be the turn of war. There they are. Oh, one turn. We are one turn from war. I do want to get them into position at least close. Irrigated farm down. Hunting camp constructed. Irrigated farm down. Not a lot of pop-ups on this particular turn. Units idle. Swing this guy around. This guy's just sitting here. And New Coahuila is ready to build. We need to now... That and or we just start a wonder now. I think now we're pretty safe to start a wonder, right? So let's start taking a look at wonders we want to build, because we want to craft as many wonders as we possibly can during this particular era. So here is... This city is good on happiness, and any other stat is fine for it. So we can put any of these in that might potentially benefit. So Angkor Wat gets us security. Majicho gets us siege defense, which is... We'd only be building this one if we need the prestige. Oxford gets us knowledge, but it also benefits our universities and things. And I don't think we have a science spot in here yet, so I think we skip Oxford. Sagrada is just straight up just good benefit. And in fact, we want to finish Sagrada before we finish anything else. We actually want to build... We should have built Sagrada... What we need to do is build Sagrada in our capital, like, basically now. I don't know if we have a spot for it. And then Basel's also. So actually, Angkor Wat might be okay here to boost up our security in this city, since this city has pretty low security. So we could just Angkor Wat in this city. I think we might just do it now, too. We Angkor Wat right there. That feels... pretty good. Shrines also give +5 security, +5 prosperity, so we'll try to get maybe some shrines in this city if we can then. I haven't built any shrines yet, to be honest, so we'll put Angkor Wat down there. We're saving their growth, and they will... That's a 7-turn construct, but what we want to do is come down here where Ciudad is ready to build as well. But the problem in Ciudad is we would be burning a 5 territory to put a wonder in here right now. Then we'll be able to grab probably this or this, one of these right here, as our growth. Or one of these. Oh, or one of these if we burn this down. So we want to get that burnt down before that growth happens, possibly, because Sagrada needs to be our next build. We're coming up on needing a dwelling, and so my inclination is to come up somewhere random. Oh, actually, here would be perfect, right? We already actually, in fact, have a dwelling here. So let's just put another dwelling in with the docks. It's not, like, particularly grand, but... And actually, we can put a residence in. So we'll build a residence here for now, and then take a look at putting Sagrada down. And the reason I'm looking to put Sagrada there is just because I have the most production in that city, so I can get it built the fastest, right? Okay. So we're one turn away from declaring that war, and then hopefully what we can do is get stuff burnt down relatively quickly, such that we can maybe even make a claim that makes more sense. And then we need to start building wonders, because we are, on the next turn, regardless of what happens, we'll be in a golden. So we have 15 turns to build as many wonders as possible. So we need to start switching over buildings into that probably post-haste here. In fact, we probably should... do we get this mine in? Or do we just start building wonders? We want Sagrada out first, technically speaking. I think we'll be able to build whatever we want, and we've got 9,000 gold in the bank so we can always rush them. So let's go next turn, and this will be the big one.
You have entered a golden age.
We have a perfect time to declare war, actually, since we're not collecting any points towards our next golden age while we are in a golden age. So that is nice. Angkor Wat has begun, and we have a new cobbler. And this cobbler, now that we're double crafting shoes, I think I'm going to put on belts. We got plenty of furs. We got mats. And then I don't know if I want to infinite craft belts. Maybe we just do... Well, you know what? Maybe I do want to just infinite craft belts. They can be used to make garments and fine clothes, so we can always put them into our fine clothes makers. And a new pub. And pubs, as we know, craft gourmet meals. Make sure we have the bread to do that. We do. And we got the salted fish, we know that. Although we're getting close on salted fish again, and we have the spice, so we can just start crafting more gourmet meals at our lovely pubs. Our units are still idle. They're actually having hunts down here. I guess we should probably hunt this wolf. Would be the general inclination. All right, these guys are ready to defend. Let's see. We've got a unit up here. So, and we got a unit here, and we've got. Wait, what is? Oh no. Does Puebla have walls? Okay, Puebla has walls. If they attack all these cities simultaneously, we're gonna have some very quick movement to need to execute on. So let's move this unit into Leon so that it has the ability to move in whatever direction is necessary. And then, because it is wartime. It is wartime. Neza is going to save on their growth opportunity, which I think they actually did already. We are 1 away from needing a dwelling here. Oh, that's going to be... We gotta get the residents in and then a wonder. Our objective will be dried food goods to boost their food. Because they're getting down it. So let's do that. From a expert standpoint, we just fixed all their food problems. So we can swing down here to ceramic shops. Our chemists are all boosted. The pub should probably get boosted. And then I think boosting ceramic shops is not the worst idea. Start boosting ceramic shops. Old Age has begun. 25% prestige bonus from all prestige sources, and we get 15 turns instead of 10 because we are playing Benito Juarez, who has the trait that does that. We have one more city that is idle, it looks like, at least. Tijuana, which, again, if we think about it, this... Oh, that's a C. I was like, a 2? That's wonderful. We'll put a triumph on it. No. Oh, crap. We actually don't have... Oh, we're 1 turn from growth. Okay, so we basically need to put in... Man, what do we... got food... Well, I don't know. We can put anything in, but we need to pick something where we can build a wonder. We want to build a wonder here for sure. Let's see, irrigate farm in 4. What we're going to do is just rush that for the 350. That way on the next turn, we can, on the claim. Oh, hopefully at 17, we get a claim. Do we? so we make a claim and then we'll be able to grab a wonder in that city as well. Okay, so this is it. This is it. War declaration time. We get kicked out of their territory when we declare war? I don't actually know the answer to that question. I'd rather just be able to move in and then shoot, I guess, but we could try to move them and then see if we get kicked out of their territory. Not sure if you do. Let's go to our diplomatic actions. All right, let's see. We can declare a skirmish. It's just 25 turns of fighting. We can declare a holy war. Capture the target city, and we could probably target whichever city we wanted and just make sure we capture it last. Or we could declare a war of expansion, assimilate or raise a targeted city. Man. Probably... So our cost here is relatively high. Our gains are best, though, for war of expansion, right? Like, we go war of expansion, then we just have to time everything up in the best way possible. So we go war of expansion... And it's not Milano that we want. Which one is the most likely to fall last? You know what? I actually have to, before we do this, we actually need to check. Zico has no units currently. So I think maybe we make Gurganon the one that claims. And the reason I'm having this debate, right, is because when you declare a war, the war of expansion particularly, if you accomplish the goal of the war ends. And so we would then not be able to burn down any other buildings, right? Any other cities. So we want to make sure Gurganon gets captured last, because once we capture this city, it will end our conquest. It will end the war. So this basically is saying we're leaving Milano, because we're not saying we're going to take Milano in this particular instance. So we're going to leave Milano on the table. Gurganon is going to be our final target, or Gurgaon is going to be our final target, and that will be that. So it only costs us 10 prestige to declare this war. Oh, we can up the time limit. Oh, if you up the time limit, it costs more. So every turn you increase it from the base turn. Oh, and you can decrease it as well. You increase or decrease by 5 turns, and every time you increase or decrease it, the turn limit, it increases or decreases your prestige cost of the war by 5. Interesting. Okay, well, the baseline was 40 and it costs 10 prestige, so it's fine. Oh, the war declaration takes place on the next turn. Well, in that case, I am going to test this. I'm going to move these guys in. We're gonna move the armies. We're gonna move the armies in. We're gonna see what happens. All right, here we go. The war shall begin. Recognize clocks. War of expansion against our ally has begun. We have 40 turns to capture Gurganon, and it's gonna get messy. It's about to get messy. Okay, let's see what happened to our unit. No, they stayed in the land. They stayed there. And here is the reinforcements already moving in the direction of our armies. So really quickly, we're just going to select this. We are going to go with a bombardment because that destroys walls. We are going to bombard this. That should take out the walls in one turn. We do need to research our next thing. We'll just go metallurgy here. All right. Enemy in our territory. Oh, it's a scout. Is there a scout down here still? This scout left. Oh no, they attacked. They attacked and died. The scout attacked into us and died already. We have to pay attention to this hut now, but that was probably a bad idea on our part. That's funny. All right, these guys are up here and moving towards Pueblo. Yeah, so everyone moving in different directions. So now our army has to pick and choose, where are we going? That could get tricky real quick, like. If this guy attacks Puebla, we may need to disconnect a wedge or two. Oh, man. Okay, we're going to have to find out what happens, I guess, right? So we'll go bombard. That should take out the walls in one turn, once again. And it should be interesting. We also lost all of our trade. There's a lot of military forces everywhere, so we'll have to pay attention to that. Let's jump up here to... do we have a trade relationship with... Okay, let's start trading over here. We have a ton of cotton. I'm just going to select some... precious metal would be great. Mandrakes are not useful. Furs actually would be useful for us. Grain, we're fine on. Cotton, we're good. Bison, I'm not sure what we can use that for. Gears, we always need gears. I'll take some gears. Let's cancel that. We'll just do rope and candle. It's just like get access to like more stuff, I guess. We can always mess with that later. All right, let's confirm that. Our trade relationship is moving now. That's good. Everyone dropped. Yeah. No one really cares for us doing that. Got a school in. So let's go ahead and go up here. Schools don't produce anything, but they do have a policy. It's literally just books. And since we have a ton of books, we'll slot all of our schools with books. There we go. And nothing else needs doing here. School is in. Residence complete. Irrigated farm is in. Mine is in. Battle report. We already killed... They attacked with their scout, and their scout is now dead. So first casualty of the war is them attacking a spearman with a scout. All right, these guys are just going to sit for now, although we could come up and just try to cut off any sort of retaliation with this unit. But we'll keep them together for now. Just have them fortify for the time being. This unit is still sitting there, that's fine. This unit now has to make the decision of whether to move this way or this way. And I think we're going to move this way. See if we can't get into a fight with those units. Might as well try to eliminate as many of those units as possible, right? Population milestone in Pueblo. Oh my gosh, we have so much to do on this turn. Holy smokes. Okay, so... Again, I feel like growth in this direction is just the best bet for us currently. So, let's just keep pushing in this direction. Get more camels, maybe. Like, just grab out to all the way to here. And we're just, like, taking land, basically, to try to keep flames from happening. And experts can go... Docks are not done yet. So we go into the mine. Population milestone in Tijuana, and they will hold... Oh, no, they won't hold. We want to grab one of these. It's a 5, so we take this 4, and we put a wonder on that, right? Again, it would be nice if we burnt this first, but it's not going to happen, so that's fine. Take this 4, we'll put a wonder on that. They also need an amenity. They don't have their dried food goods or festivals or fine clothes. Go festival first. Library for city knowledge. Oh, their city knowledge is atrocious. Okay, let's do that. The pub is always nice. Oh, Ciudad has grown already. So Ciudad grows early. Oh my gosh, dried food goods does not even solve their problem. What did they just grow to? The growth into 24? Or I guess into 23. Wow, the food demands through the roof. All right, so in other words, we know where our experts need to go. If we don't have experts in any farm, all farms now must have experts in them, and we're now in food trouble. Might not have any farms to do. We'll do mines. And then we're gonna need to build a farm, I guess? Even though we want to, well, I guess we don't need, we can one turn a farm. So let's do that really quick. Here's our farm, irrigated farm, we'll rush it. And then our claim is just somewhere where we can put a wonder claim spot. There's a 4 over here, there's a 4 over here. I don't feel like we need access to the bison. That's an empty 4 though, but with 4 food on it. This one's got 3, oh, I don't know. They're both fine. I'm gonna do this one over here. We'll put a wonder on top of the bison. Okay. And we have a food issue, but we're attempting to solve that. I don't know how much of it we're gonna solve. That's 20 food down. Japan sent me a gift. Some tools, sure. That's fine. That's fine, sir. Thank you. Another idle city? Oh my goodness, this is getting out of hand. We haven't even figured out... Well, we figured out a lot of our military, I suppose. These guys are potentially under attack soon. We put in the school, so we're just going to go and study marine biology there. Be a very popular major. Okay. More cities idle. Tijuana. Oh, you know what? Probably should have built a wonder in that city. That city probably could have used a wonder as well. I need to go back at the beginning of next episode and actually, like, reset wonder craftings. Do you want to... Cannot build a wonder yet? Residence for a turn? Because then we're going to put a wonder down. So next turn actually would be a good turn to maybe reestablish all of that. Oh my gosh. How many cities? Sweet goodness. Did we decide we're putting a wonder in Leon? Or Guadalajara? Guadalajara, I guess, could put a wonder. Yeah, that's a wonder spot. Okay, so let's figure out a wonder for here then. Oh, okay. They need prosperity and happiness, technically. So what would get us prosperity or happiness? Oh, the Grand Palace gets us prosperity. And they need a bunch of prosperity here. So that's actually a perfect build for them. That's a perfect build for them. So Guadalajara is that one up there in the corner. So we go Le Grand Palace. We go up. Done. Grand Palace under construction. And the next turn, we'll get Sagrada out, and then that will increase all of our builds. Okay. All of our military, we're bombarding. We are bombarding. Then we will attack, and we won't attack this yet. Are we attacking this? We need to do this. This is the one we didn't do. Don't move. We need to actually siege it. We're going to siege New Delhi. New Delhi will get sieged right away. That should be a quick take. We need to make sure we don't take Gurgadon too fast, and then we'll take Zico, and then we're defending, right? The biggest part of this is going to become the defense of our buildings, of our units. How are we going to manage the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 battalions that are now marching towards us, plus the battalion that is in this city already? So if any of our cities get engaged, we need to be able to defend them, and that is going to be the biggest kind of component of this war. These cities are going to get burnt down relatively quickly. There's just no... Like, if you look at this, we have a 216 against an entrenched 64. It's gonna be a massacre. What we'll do is we'll sit here and probably just bombard and shoot at this army for a little bit. This one, since the walls are gonna fall in the next turn, we should... this battalion might sneak in, so we might need to bombard them as well. So we'll go through that on the very next turn in the very next episode. Thank you all for joining. It is so much fun playing this game. I hope you're enjoying the playthrough. If you like the content, hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you've subscribe to the channel so you know when we release these videos. I will see you for the next one.